welcome back to Riding the Pine. This is our review of Game 7 of the 2020-21 Chicago Blackhawks season. Tonight, the Blackhawks fell in overtime by a score of 3-2 to the Nashville Predators. But before we get to the review, please do me a really big favor and hit that like button and subscribe down below. If you haven't already, it helps us out a lot. Please also leave some comments as to what you thought about tonight's game, and we will be sure to join you down in the comments to discuss. With that, I am once again flying solo as I had a family emergency come up during the game tonight. So you're stuck with just me again tonight. Of course, I am your host as always, Kyle Martin, better known as McBrooklyn48 on Twitter. And let's just get straight into it tonight. The Blackhawks were basically shorthanded tonight, and it showed. Um, there were some good things to focus on tonight, which I'm going to focus on. But before the game, we found out that both Adam Boqvist and Alex Debrincat are now in COVID protocol. Both of them live together, so it's entirely possible. I know Alex Debrincat is engaged, so it is entirely possible that someone had brought that in. excuse me, brought that into their living arrangements, and they got stuck with COVID. So both Adam Boqvist and Alex Debrincat will be out of the lineup for at least the next 14 days. That's a huge loss to the Blackhawks. Not so much on the Adam Boqvist side. I mean, if we want to argue his development, sure, it's a big loss. However, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's a huge loss in the lineup, especially as I've been repeatedly saying I want to see Wyatt Kalynuk get into the lineup. Unfortunately, Jeremy Colleton didn't agree with me, and we saw Lucas Carlsson draw in tonight, as well as Matthew Highmore for Debrincat. But the big loss, I think, obviously, that most people would agree with is Alex Debrincat. He's a top six forward. You lost another top six forward. You look at the Blackhawks' top six this season. Jonathan Toews is out. Alex Debrincat's out. Kirby Dach is out. And Alex Nylander is out. Those are four of your top six forwards from last season. All of them are now out of the lineup. This team has been absolutely decimated by injuries and now by COVID. It just keeps getting worse, it seems, for the Blackhawks. But, never fear. Again, these are learning moments. We're getting the kids to play. There are positives in that. We're probably going to get, again, really good draft picks. So, just bear with us. And eventually, everything will be okay as we continue to move forward with this Blackhawks team, this new, young Blackhawks team. With that, let's get into the game. A positive note. So Dylan Strome scored on the power play. That is the seventh power play goal in 7 games for the Blackhawks. I don't know if I'm sure it's been more than 7 power play goals, but you get what I mean. It's the 7th game in a row to start the season that they have scored. So that continues to click. They have a very dangerous power play. That's great. That's something they're going to need to continue to have if they are to have any shot at picking up victories this season. So that's a great sign. Also, Dylan Strome improved mightily again up at the faceoff circle, getting up to 50% tonight in 19 minutes and 32 seconds of ice time. That's great to see. He struggled the last 2 games against the Detroit Red Wings, faring somewhere in the 20 to 30% range. Carl Soderberg had his second game tonight. He wasn't very noticeable. Andrew Shaw was, I thought, noticeable when he did play. He picked up an assist on the Dylan Strome power play goal, as did Dominic Kubalik. I thought Dominic Kubalik, who everyone wanted to get more ice time, and he got more ice time tonight, and wasn't a very good showing for him. He had of several giveaways, and then also finished the night with a -1. But let's talk about something that I think is another positive. So Mattias Janmark picked up a goal tonight. That's his third goal in the last 3 games. He now has 4 points in 7 games. Um, he played 18 minutes tonight. I think he's been a pleasant surprise. I think, that's a guy who could potentially be a big piece of this team's future in the top 9 forward ranks. I think that's a guy who, if they don't sell off at the deadline, could definitely be a great piece to the future of this team. Let's go back to Matthew Highmore. Hagel remained in the lineup, so Highmore drew in for Alex Debrincat being out. I didn't see much out of Highmore tonight. I would like to see, I think, maybe an Entwistle or another young guy get in the lineup, even Lucas Wallmark to draw back in. So yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say on the forward level. That's kind of positive. Um, Defensively, Lucas Carlsson drew back in, played 15 minutes, or drew in. This is his first game of the season. He played 15 minutes and 36 seconds, had 1 shot on goal. He was fine. I didn't see anything wrong with his play. Um, I just, again, would have liked to have seen either a Wyatt Kalynuk or a Nick Bodan in for him. Um, Defensively, Zadorov had a rough night. He was -2. Had several giveaways, I believe, on one of the goals as well. Um, just got undressed. Ian Mitchell really got kind of killed tonight. He only played 11 minutes, which is unusual. Usually he's around the 13-minute mark. So that's something to keep an eye on. Potentially, maybe they'll take Mitchell out of the lineup, keep Carlsson in, and give us a Kalynuk or a Bodan just to get us a different look. Connor Murphy, here's a positive, I think. Connor Murphy had 5 block shots tonight, a hit, and 2 shots on goal. He played almost 28 minutes tonight, including 4 minutes shorthanded. So Connor Murphy continues to be a great aspect of this defense. Um, Going back to specialty teams, the Blackhawks were 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. That's another great thing to see. And Malcolm Subban finished with 36 saves on 39 shots for a 923 save percentage in 61 minutes and 57 seconds of ice time. A good game from him. I don't know why Kevin Lankinen was not put back into the crease. Kevin Lankinen is 2-0-1 on the season with, very sparkling numbers. Played very well in that Detroit series. I don't know. Something tells me Delia is probably going to be starting tomorrow for the nightcap, if you will, of the series. Um, but who knows at this point? I've gone on this trail. They've got to do something with this goalie situation relatively quickly because you can't have the 3 guys keep continuing to rotate. You just can't. And you can't send Lankinen back down because he's the best of the 3, in my opinion. And I think overwhelmingly that's the opinion of most people. So I don't know what you do there. You got to do something. But we'll see what they do. Kind of this, in summary, I think the Alex Debrincat loss tonight really hurt. Again, when your top 6 is just absolutely decimated. Janmark was playing in the top 6 tonight, obviously. Suter, probably would not have been in the top 6 to start the season. Kurashev's been getting top 6 minutes as well. These are just not things you want to see for the Blackhawks and the development um, of your top players. You want them to kind of be uh, not all alone, right? Like you don't want Strome's a young player. Kubalik, this is his second season, and Kurashev, obviously, this being his first season. So that's a really young line that they're rolling out there, inexperienced. Your top line, Pia Suter, and I guess they threw Janmark on there tonight with Patrick Kane. No real surprise, I guess, but they just the Blackhawks are getting decimated, and it's too bad because Nashville is not a good team, and they were not good tonight. Um, I think that's going to be an interesting to see how the season kind of progresses, where Nashville ends up in the standings. I'm going to go back and pull up the standings here just so I can recap for myself who all is in the division because I don't quite have that down yet. Yeah, the Panthers are 3-0, man. That's kind of shocking. But yeah, to me, the 3 worst teams in the division are the Red Wings, Hawks, and Predators. We'll see. I guess who finishes last. I mean, it's going to be a race to last. Uh, I imagine the Predators are probably going to finish ahead of the Hawks and Wings. Um, but yeah, the Hawks have officially played the same amount of games as Detroit so far, and that overtime loss tonight uh, kept them 1 point ahead of the Red Wings in the standings. They're also tied with the Predators in the standings. However, the Predators have only played 6 games. If the Hawks fall to them again tomorrow, that obviously would give the Predators 2 points up and a game in hand. So, yeah, I still feel like the 2 worst teams in this division are going to be Detroit and Chicago. Um, I think a lot was look, if the Blackhawks continue to have COVID problems, not just with Debrincat and Boqvist, but with other players as well. Um, we could really be in trouble, standing wise, depending on who the players are that are in protocol. So they were definitely shorthanded tonight across the board. They've been shorthanded all season, but they definitely were shorthanded tonight with literally 4 out of their top 6 out of the lineup. So this is a team decimated, and that's something else to consider about Detroit as well. As we talk about the standings, Detroit is also pretty decimated with injuries right now and the COVID protocols. So, you know, Chicago probably is the worst team in the division, to be frank. And we'll continue to see how that plays out moving forward. But with that, that's probably going to wrap this up. Again, we saw some positives tonight. The power play is still clicking, the penalty kills clicking. So the specialty teams played really well. Subban played decent. Strome picked it up back at the faceoff circle to get back up to 50%. Again, that may have just been a poor matchup for him against Detroit. I don't know who he was going up against in Detroit to really knock that faceoff percentage down. But that was something to definitely enjoy that he was able to turn that around, at least for this game. Hopefully it continues moving forward. Carlsson got into the lineup. He was fine. There were a lot of turnovers, and probably as a result of guys trying to do too much. Um, when you don't have the amount of offensive capability, you're kind of at a lull. And, I know a lot of people, at least from what I was listening to, were pretty hard on the defense, and that's fine, but the Hawks gave up 39 shots. And, if your offense can't control play, your defense is going to get run down. So, I'm sorry, but you got to be able to score. And they should have been able to score because, as I said, this Predators team is not very good this season. And they were not good in that first period. The Hawks should have had more than one goal that period. There was a stretch there. I think it was Andrew Shaw, Camp, and Hagel. It was either Highmore or Hagel out on that line. And they were just, it was a good probably 60 to 80 seconds that they controlled play, and it resulted in an icing. And that's your fourth line against one of the top lines, as Eddie and Pat had pointed out on the broadcast, that, the coach of the Nashville Predators was putting out his best guys out there. And against the Hawks, really good checking line that's been good all season. So I don't know. I don't know really what to say. It's hard to find fault in this game, just because the offense isn't there. It's hard to score when 4 of your top 6 players from last season at the forward level are all out of the lineup. You just got too many what ifs. You've got guys, a lot of top 9, bottom 6 guys in your lineup, and a lot of rookies. And it's going to be tough. And, when you give up 40 shots a game, they give up 39. So let's just say, for sake of argument, 40 shots, you're in your own end a lot. And that's a problem for any team, not just Chicago. So, as we preview tonight's or tomorrow's back-to-back upcoming nightcap of this series with Nashville, I expect to see probably either Delia or maybe even Subban again. Something tells me we won't be seeing Lankinen again, which is unfortunate. But we'll probably again see either Delia or another start awarded to Malcolm Subban. Obviously, he played well tonight. Can't really fault him for tonight's game. There's no future for him on this team. So them continuing to flirt with him on this roster is just insane. But yeah, I'd like to see somebody else draw in at the forward level for Highmore, whether that be a Lucas Walmark or a Mackenzie Entwistle. I'd like to see one of them get into the lineup. And then, or you know what, maybe even Brandon Peary at this point, because you're so decimated offensively. Maybe Brandon Peary needs to come back. This is what you got him for, right? He's an offense guy first. Maybe you bring him back in and plug him into the lineup. I don't know. But you got to do something there. And then, maybe give Mitchell the night off and bring Kalanick or Bodan into the lineup. If you want to, you might as well keep Carlsson in there, to be honest. He didn't play horrible. He had a shot on goal. Like I said, he played 15 and a half minutes. Get somebody else in there for Mitchell. And I'm not saying take Mitchell permanently out of the lineup. Just give him the night off and get these other guys that have been sitting around all fucking year into the lineup. Like, I don't want to see them play. And as far as I'm aware, Kalanick's and Beaudin's contracts don't slide, so there's no point in not playing them. It's not like if you don't play them, their contract year doesn't get burned. They're going to get burned. So, Mitchell's coming out of college, so he doesn't, I believe, have that option at 23 years old. Same, Beaudin's already played, so at least one game, I believe. So that's that's not going to happen. So, yeah, just get one of them in the lineup. I want to see those kids. If we're going to lose, play the gauntlet. Get them all in there. So with that, everybody, that's going to wrap this up for the Blackhawks 3-2 overtime loss tonight to the Nashville Predators. Was kind of a rough night, obviously, on offense, being shorthanded again with Alex Debrincat being in protocol for COVID. So, yeah, hopefully better results tomorrow. And until next time, guys, or until tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy, love each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Hawks.